is the word nushuz. وَاللَّاتِي تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنَّ. If you are scared or worried about the nushuz of your wife. Nushuz is often translated erroneously, that is often translated as disobedience, right? That's the most common translation. When your wife is disobedient, slap her. Which again, the ayah doesn't say that. It says you have to admonish them first, you have to abandon them in bed, and the third one is basically hit them, and I will explain inshallah what that means. Is it really what it means? The Arabic language does not bear that kind of meaning. Nashaza, nushuz, doesn't. In fact, in Surah An-Nisa, just a little bit later, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about women that are fearful of the nushuz of their husbands. وَإِنِ امْرَأَةٌ خَافَتْ مِنْ بَعْلِهَا نُشُوزًا أَوْ إِعْرَاضًا. So is the woman worried that her husband is disobedient? Logically, I cannot expect you to obey me while you're expecting me to obey you. That doesn't work logically. So if nushuz means obedience, then something is wrong. Okay, so it doesn't mean that. Now, there's another ayah in the Quran in which the word nushuz was mentioned. Surah Al-Mujadala. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمْ انشُزُوا فَانشُزُوا يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمْ تَفَسَّحُوا فِي الْمَجَالِسِ فَافْسَحُوا يَفْسَحِ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمْ انشُزُوا فَانشُزُوا. If you are asked to rise, please rise and acquiesce to the request that was made. To rise, to think you are better than someone else, to have arrogance, to prevent your husband access to yourself, which is his right as your husband, because you feel that sense of arrogance. Right? Mujahid, who is the master of all the mufassirin, Mujahid is the one that At-Tabari and Ibn Kathir wrote after, by the way. They did their tafsir after Mujahid. Ibn Kathir and particularly At-Tabari actually quoted so many times, I would say thousands and thousands of times in their tafsir, they would quote Mujahid. Imam Mujahid ibn Jabr basically says that nushuz, in his opinion, and this is the opinion that is accepted by most of the scholars of tafsir, عدم التمكين في الفراش. When basically the wife refuses to let herself be with her husband intimately for no good reason, on no proper or reasonable grounds or rational grounds whatsoever, preventing him from having her, for intimacy, right? That is what it actually means in this particular ayah. So if a husband is worried that his wife is refusing to be with him, and he feels that he's about to do something haram, right? And let me share with you something that I've experienced firsthand. There was a couple that I tried to counsel about 3 years ago, just so that you understand what nushuz really means, right? And they were having financial disagreements, and basically both of them are professionals and they have teenage children. So they have a financial disagreements on how the money should be spent in the family. So because the wife wanted to punish her husband because he didn't agree with her, she basically refuses to be with him intimately, right? So they came to me one of those days for counseling, and wallahi, brothers and sisters, Allah is my witness in Ramadan. I quote, this is what she said. She said to her husband, in my presence, in my office, she looked him in the eye and she said to him, I'm not your bathroom. And I will let you use your imagination to understand what she meant by that. And it is an atrocity, in my judgment, for a woman, right, to consider intimacy with her husband and to be something that is so bad, and to equate that with, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us all, this act, right? And for me, wallahi, I remembered ayah number 34 of Surah An-Nisa, and she was talking about this. The language, the attitude, the way I haven't seen the couple, by the way, ever since then. But the attitude tells me that nushuz is about something that is sinister. There's something malicious about it, right? It is not because it is not halal for any woman to refuse to be intimate with her husband unless there are reasonable grounds. And it is not halal for a husband to refuse to be intimate with his wife either. وَلِلنِّسَاءِ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, as the ayah says. Whatever we expect of women must be also expected of men. Okay? So I'm just giving you an example to understand what nushuz really means. So the first step when you feel that nushuz from your wife is فَعِظُوهُنَّ. Admonish them. Give advice. Try to talk and communicate. Try to articulate your need to her. Try to see, have I done anything that offended you? Why are you upset? Did I say something that made you angry? Is it that thing from last week? Are you still upset about that? I apologize. Let me kiss you on the forehead, right? If it is something that is bigger, a bigger issue in the relationship, let's go talk to the imam. Can we go for counseling? Inshallah, we can work this out. Do you understand what فَعِظُهُنَّ means? Let me ask you this question, brothers and sisters. And mashallah, you're all very well educated. Knowing what we know now in the Western world, all the information that we have, all the knowledge, all the empirical evidence, all the knowledge about counseling and relationships, would you or would you not agree with me that good articulation and good relationship in any, and good communication in any relationship resolves 95% of the problems? Would you not agree with me? 95% of any marital issue could be resolved if husband and wife sat down and actually spoke about it. فَعِظُوهُنَّ, give them advice and talk to them and communicate and admonish them, will take care of 95% of the problems. Just good articulation to the problem. Telling your wife, I understand that you're upset and I really apologize, and let it go one night, and then a couple of nights later come talk to her. And be honest with her. Tell her, you know, I'm your husband, and you expect our relationship to be a loyal, loving relationship. You expect my full fidelity, and you expect me to be a monogamous partner to you. So you cannot deny me the satisfaction that I need and expect in my own marriage and in my own relationship. That is called articulation. You put it to her in clear terms. You tell her, you know, you're pushing me, you know, I'm an honest and honorable man. I'm not gonna, you know, God forbid, you know, do something haram with another woman. But I might look, I might, you know, be thinking about things that I shouldn't be thinking about. And I don't want to do that. And I'll be mostly responsible, but you're going to be partially responsible as well, because I am talking to you and I'm trying to resolve the situation with you, and you're not giving me a chance. You're not trying to seek out a solution with me, right? You put everything on the table through the فَعِظُهُنَّ step. I promise you, 95% of the issues that led to nushuz in the first place will be resolved. Okay? Now, what about the remaining 5%? There's a sister that is simply looking at it differently. She is basically not interested in apologies. She's not interested in the admonition. She's not interested in advice. She's not responding to communication. And there are, extremely rare, people who are so unreasonable that they would not pick a solution from the table, even if that solution is divorce, by the way. Divorce could be that solution. If nothing works, at least be honest and tell your husband, I can't live with you anymore. What I see is that some sisters, they just want to be in the semblance of a relationship. Why? Because of financial dependability. They want the money. And there is also the kids factor. But my sisters, it is haram to do that. I'm telling you right now. If you stay with your husband and you refuse to be with your husband, but you stay with him just because you want his money and you want his support and you want to make sure that the children, you know, have the father in their lives or whatever other excuses, without letting him be your husband, you're doing something haram. And therefore you must respond to admonition, even if it means divorce. You know what, Abdullah, I'm sorry, I see where you're coming from, but I think that our differences are irreconcilable. And let us just, you know, in a civilized way, part ways with each other, inshallah, take care of the kids as divorced man and woman, and show respect to each other. That could be a solution, right? But the solution is not to keep things sliding and to refuse to talk to your husband, to refuse to communicate with your husband, turn down his apologies, and think that we can just keep going like this for months and years. It's haram to do that, right? So for that very small percentage of relatively unreasonable women, very extremely rare percentage, the next step is, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَهْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ or وَهْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. Abandon them in bed. And now I know that most of you think you know what that means. Okay? Most people, if I ask them, they think, okay, sleep on another bed, right? Get up and sleep on another, abandon them in beds, right? فَهْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. But if that were the case, it would have said فَهْجُرُ الْمَضَاجِعِ. Or فَهْجُرُهُنَّ مِنَ الْمَضَاجِعِ. But it says فَهْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ. Abandon them in bed. What does that mean? It means sleep on the right side and look at the wall and fall asleep. Right? It means don't talk to her. She's still, you guys, both of you are still sleeping on the same bed, but you are basically symbolically telling her, you know what? I'm not going to be manipulated. I'm not going to be exploited because of my desire. I desire you as my wife, but you're obviously taking advantage of that, and I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to be exploited. Our relationship is not going to be exploited because you think that my desire will overwhelm me and then I will come, just give you everything you want. And make unreasonable concessions. I'm not going to do that. Okay? That's one side of it. But the other side is that you're still in bed. What does that mean? It means you are saying, well, I tried so hard, admonition and advice, and I've been trying to communicate and apologize for 2 weeks, and you're not responding, and so I'm getting upset, and I don't know what to do, and I'm not going to let you exploit me this way, but I'm still right here in bed. If you want to talk about it, we can talk. Right? It is using a little bit of reverse psychology as well, because when the admonition process, the idhuhunna part, is man constantly talking to his wife. Please, forgive me, I'm sorry, let's talk about it, let's get some counseling, this and that. Whatever I did, I'll buy you a gift. And none of that works, and your wife is... she doesn't want to talk, right? Next step, reverse psychology, you go like this. Right, what is she going to do? Hopefully, 4% of the remaining 5% will heed the warning and be like, okay, fine. Let's talk about this, right? So hopefully if you abandon them in bed, like sleep in the same bed, but kind of don't talk to them, turn your face to the other side, and go on like this for a couple of nights, hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, this will resolve the remaining of the problem. So now we've covered 99%. 99% of the cases should be covered by the first 2 steps. And the third step is فَضْرِبُوهُنَّ, right? And again, it is not what you think. And inshallah ta'ala, next time we see each other, I will explain to you